Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we are talking about a little girl, 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard, who is from Lompoc, California. Her disappearance is perplexing, to say the least, and we still don't have answers. On October 14th of this year, 2025, investigators were alerted when school officials flagged Melanie's, quote, prolonged absence at her home on Mars Avenue. Deputies found the door open and Melodee gone. Her mother, Ashley Buzzard, gave no verifiable explanation and is not cooperating with us. They're not cooperating with police. Investigators managed to narrow down 3 critical days from October 7th to October 10th as her mother, Ashley Buzzard, rented a car and drove 23 hours. This is a very perplexing case, and we're going to talk about everything that we know and the latest developments on the other side of this.
Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls. Dropping cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is October 28th, 2025. It is currently 5:10 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello. How is my beautiful pearls doing today? Hopefully you and yours are well. Oh, I'm sorry, Patty. I hope you feel better, my love. Deanna, good to see you. Angel, A Al Henry. I was getting ready to say AI again. Peacemaker, it is what it is. Thank you, love. You're very sweet. Jennifer, Peacemaker, Shelby, Lady Gracious, Baba Rose, Susan, Deanna, Jennifer, Kelly, Faye, Susan. Let's see here. Who else do we got in here? Sandy Johnson, Blueberry, Jen. Good to see you, Panda. Who else do we got? Shelby, good to see you. Carol, Half Moon, Sandy, Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really do appreciate you guys joining me for this one. Um, it's a case that's not getting enough attention in social media, in my opinion, and it needs more. It's getting national attention, which is great, but it's not getting the social media attention that, in my opinion, it deserves, which they all deserve. So, guys, so good to see you. It's almost Halloween and it's almost November. Can you believe that? 2025 is almost gone. Woo. All right, guys, do me a favor before we get started for my live chat as y'all come in and my replay crew. How are you? Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Would be so thankful. And also share the live out for extra bonus points. Would mean so much. I know Christmas is coming. I know. Okay. Um, it is a fast year. It really is. So, with that being said, Bright Fox Den, I love the name. Welcome to the Pro family. Really do appreciate you here. Good to see you. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. Y'all, welcome our newest Pearl, Bright Fox Den. Thank you so much, my love. Good to see you. And do you have a fox? Do you really have a fox? Or do you just like foxes? I mean, I see you with the fox. I mean, I think that's really cool if you do. There's those, what's the little, I think they're called finicky foxes. One of my girlfriends has a couple of those, and they are so stinking cute. Oh my God. They tear up everything, though, but they're so stinking cute. That's so cute. Like to hear that. Good to see you, my dear. And Summer's Army, hey baby, good to see you. Thank you so much for your support. Good afternoon, beautiful girls. Good afternoon. Summer's Army, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support, my dear. That's at a museum. Oh, gotcha. My little baby Joelle got spayed today. Aw, Jen, is she okay? She all right? So cute, so troubled too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, guys. So the picture that you see here on the screen is little Melodee. Now, I know that a lot of people have different opinions on this, and that's okay. I'll give you my opinion about this picture. I personally feel like this is Melodee. A lot of people's like, she doesn't look 9 years old. She looks older. I know a lot of you guys in here have said that, and you have every right to your opinion. Her aunt has came out and spoken about this as well. Let me give you a little bit of kind of a rundown about what is going on in this case. If you're new to this, if you've never heard of Melodee, it's kind of Lori Vallow Daybell-esque, if you will. Remember how Tylee and JJ, Lori said Tylee and JJ were fine. They were with their grandmother when the grandmother was actually the one that called in the wellness check. And then Lori kept saying, they're fine. They're with this person. And they were like, no, they're not. We checked. Well, very similar, except Ashley Buzzard, Melodee's mother, took a trip with Melodee. And we have a 3-day window, October 7th to October 10th. She drove as far away as what was it, Kansas? Kansas, I'm pretty sure. Not Kansas. Nebraska, sorry. And during that trip, something happened to Melodee. Now, what happened? That's the whole mystery. And the mother, Ashley Buzzard, isn't saying. They gave Ashley Buzzard, this is what is getting me with this. They gave her 72 hours to produce where Melodee is or she could be arrested. Well, that has came and gone days ago, and she has still not been arrested. Why? Why? All she has to do is say where she is, and it's over. It's over, right? Hi, Sarah, Kelly. I see you. Good to see you. Andrea, Peacemaker, Blueberry, Retro, Connie, Jennifer, Leslie. Hello, everyone rolling in here. No, Peacemaker, not arrested. I don't either. I don't get it either. So it's it's a little weird. Now, Ashley Buzzard on October 7, 2025, Melodee and Ashley, the mother, were seen at a car rental agency in I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Lompoc, Poc. Surveillance footage shows Melodee, which is what you see here on the screen, uh, at the rental place. But what has alarmed everyone is her appearance is different than what she normally looks like, which she's got a dark wig on and her hair is kind of tucked away, as if someone is trying to change her appearance. And the question is why? Why would you change a 9-year-old's appearance, then go on a trip, then the child disappear, and then the mother shuts up? Strange, huh? That same day that you see this picture, this is when Ashley Buzzard, Melodee's mother, rents a white Chevrolet Malibu. Within hours, they're going to leave California, and there's a 3-day trip. Ashley Buzzard comes back without her daughter, and there has been no verified sighting of Melodee since. After that trip, this is where the school, about a week later, they just missed this. Her school confirmed that she hadn't been attending any of the classes or picking up any of the assignments. The FBI has joined the search, calling this an at-risk missing child's case. Authorities haven't publicly said whether they believe she was taken, hidden, or worse. But they're asking the public to focus on the question, where is that white Malibu? And who saw it between October 7th and October 10th? You got a little girl in a disguised wig after a long road trip, but a very short period of time, right? So I think the last live we did on Melodee, we looked, it was like 22 or 23 hours to Nebraska. And she was only gone 3 days. So you're saying 24 hours there, basically. That's not including stopping, getting gas, eating, whatever. And 24 hours back. You only have 24 hours left. And that is to stop, fuel, eat, use the bathroom, get gas, all of that. Leslie, I thought she was supposed to be arrested, I think last Thursday or Friday. That's when they, let's see here. Let me look at this. Nope, no arrest uh, at this time has been announced. Okay. Now, the FBI, Melodee is on the FBI page now. And, your heart always kind of sinks whenever, oh God, when you see that, because you just don't know, right? Hold on, guys, can y'all see me? Give me 1 second. I'll, I'll be right back. I do apologize for that. Yeah, I kind of froze. All right, let me show you this right here. Melodee Buzzard, most wanted, kidnapping and missing persons. Okay. So she is on the FBI.gov, 60 to 100 pounds, 4 foot inches to 4'6", curly brown hair. But again, she could be wearing any color hair if she's already wearing like a dark black wig, right? So we're going to get to some things. I have to wonder if the child has been hidden due to a mix of the mother's not being mentally in shape and wanting to be kept away from the family she doesn't speak to. I don't think it personally has to do with family because she didn't speak to family to begin with. Melodee was kind of kept, didn't go anywhere. Remember, she was homeschooled. And Ashley Buzzard, she has had a lot of mental health issues. She has also allegedly had a son taken away from CPS or DHS in the past, right? Oh, thank you so much, Abigail, my love. Good to see you. Really do appreciate you, Abigail. Love you, darling. You too. Such a cute picture. Love you, darling. Appreciate you. Yes, she did return the rental. She did return the rental, but it's like it's missing. It's weird. You think they could track the rental really, really quickly, right? But apparently not. Now, authorities have said to look out, especially, everywhere, but especially right now, Nebraska. And someone tagged the Omaha Police Officers Association here. And they said, I swear I saw this girl in Nebraska City on Sunday at the very end of one of the parking lot lanes at Walmart. I've already submitted a tip. I included my phone number in the tip. Is there anything else I can do? That's interesting, right? I think Ashley is scared of Melodee. Maybe, maybe. But little Melodee, her father is dead. Now the biological father, even though he's dead, the family has always wanted to see Melodee. Her paternal father, uh, grandmother, Melodee's biological grandmother, has spoke out and said, she's tried to get in touch with Ashley so she could see Melodee, but she would always like hide. So it could be something like that. It could be something like that. There is some new documents, or not documents, new articles that are out. We'll go over here in a minute. But there is nobody that could understand this case. Hey, Peacemaker, Jennifer, Dav, Pam, Roxy, more than Colby Ryan. Colby Ryan is the son of Lori Vallow Daybell. And unfortunately, his sister, Tylee Ryan, and JJ, his brother, were unalived at the hands of Lori and Chad Daybell. Hey, Dav, good to see you, baby. And so he talks on this.
A lot about you as I've been covering this Melodee Buzzard story, and I just wanted to get your take on what you think of the development so far.
Well, first of all, it's heartbreaking, and when you see things like this, when it comes to children, it's always extra scary. And the similarities immediately ring to me, where a parent should be able to show you their child within a couple of seconds or know where they are at all times.
Exactly.
The fearful thing is seeing them for a short amount of time and then them disappearing and all the families wondering, just the similarities are scary. I will personally tell you that I hope that is not the case. I never want to see what happened to my family repeated, but it's hard to hear it because there's, for me personally, just too many similarities.
Do you have a gut instinct on what's happening in the Melodee Buzzard story?
I'll tell you that as a parent myself, I could tell you where my kids are 24/7, no matter what's going on. I know where they are at all times, even if they're at school, and it should be very easy to be able to tell anybody where your children are. So I don't have a gut feeling, but I do feel.
And that's exactly right. That's the question. As parents, we know where our children are at all times, 24/7, 365, until they're pretty much 18, right? And even then after, a lot of times. She's 9. And the question is, why wouldn't you tell police? CPS has already been there at the home. A day before they had told Ashley that she was going to be arrested if she didn't produce the kids, she was at actually 2 rental car locations to try to rent another car. But she's been in some financial problems, and I don't know if she just didn't have enough money or whatever, but they would not let her rent the car, so she had to go back home. Interesting.
Uneasy about it.
Melodee's so cute. Now, I think a reason a lot of us have questions about the new photo seen at the car rental place with Melodee is because the photo that we are used to seeing is at least 2 years old. At least 2 years old. And so I think we had this mental image of her being smaller or whatever. And you got to remember she is in a wig and all that.
Yeah, I've had a bad feeling since day one. I thought there's just no way that a mom wouldn't just put people at ease over something as important as a little girl. Here's where I'm confused. It doesn't feel, to me at least, that it's being considered an emergency by the police. And I'm wondering if you got that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of getting frustrating with the police, right? Like, I mean, it's mystery. It's a mystery. But I will say they have done a really good job following Ashley anywhere she goes, allegedly. But why haven't they arrested her yet? They gave her 72 hours. That came and went days ago. Yeah, I mean, I hope she's taken in for questioning too, but the thing is, she hasn't, you don't have to speak, right? And she hasn't been speaking. So they can take her in, but if she doesn't speak, again, we're just kind of at step 1 again, right? So they could arrest her for at least a little bit for not producing Melodee, right? Very similar to what they did to Lori Vallow.
That feeling when you and Kay Woodcock were trying desperately to get the police to pay attention to Lori Vallow, your mom.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. You can not speak and it cannot be held against you. Right? For you to cooperate or not to cooperate cannot be held against you. Right? It just means the police have to work harder. That's what it means. Mallory, thank you so much, my dear. Welcome to the Pearl family. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Well, welcome, beautiful Mallory Parker. Thank you so much, Mallory. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. The pic looks like a 30-year-old. You think so? See, I don't think so, but a lot of people do. A lot of people do. You're
And
not the only
find out
one.
where your siblings were.
We're going to get to that in a minute, though.
Yeah, I think the police, it was hard for our case because you get so many new departments involved, right? It's Arizona, it's Idaho, it's all over the place. And then they're looking for Lori and Chad. So yeah, there is urgency. You need to have urgency for a child like this. But I understand that in some circumstances, the police hand could be tied in some ways. But when it comes to children, I think the priority goes to a very high level, and it has to, because their safety is important. And the police are.
And just like in Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell case, this is multi-state, right? Is this the case in the States or in Canada? This happened in the United States, Al. Happened in the United States, in California, Santa Barbara County.
Sometimes they're just tied and they can't do something about it.
So, you know what? That is a really good point. And I want you to just pull on that thread a little for me, because you've mentioned in the past that when kids are taken out of the system, like this little girl was taken out of the school system and they were homeschooling. Now, the school system did its level best, right? They didn't come and pick up assignments for a few weeks and they reported it. But it really complicates the process when the child isn't doing what every other child is doing.
Right, exactly. And, especially if a parent takes their kid out of school or moves or whatever the case is, when they go somewhere else.
Nancy, see, 95, maybe even up to 99% of the cases that I cover, I know a lot of people always say, oh, they were sold. This is one of the few cases I would consider it. One of the few cases I would consider it. And the reason is because of the mom's desperate need for money. Desperate need for money. But again, it makes me wonder if she sold Melodee. Let's think about this a moment. And she got money, then Why wasn't she able to rent a car? No, Carol, I'm not. I'm good, baby. Why wasn't she able to rent a car? Because she tried to rent 2 different cars. And apparently it was something to do with her, I don't know if it was her financial history, she didn't have enough money. What happened? Yep. Yep, I agree. I mean, I think homeschooling for most people, it works for them and it's fantastic. I fully support it. But again, just like with anything, there is a double-edged sword. And I think it's also an abuser's, people with mental, paradise as well. She is far too possessive to sell Melody. You think so, Lady Gracious? I see. I probably disagree with that. I think she's self-centered on her own wants and needs and desires. Didn't she get? I don't understand, Justin. Didn't she get a car to rent a car when Melanie disappeared? Yes, but just a few days ago, she went back and tried to rent another car. And she wasn't able to get the car. Went to 2 different places. Yes, guys, please, if you haven't yet, if you would hit that thumbs up button, would be so thankful. Appreciate you.
You don't know, the teachers aren't going to know who they are. They're not going to know that they're missing from another place, right? So it's complicated, but now that everyone's looking and trying to figure out what's going on with her, it just makes it even more confusing, because it really ultimately comes down to, where is she and why is the mom not speaking on it?
That I've wondered that myself, Sassy. Did the FBI or authorities say decline her? But I don't know if they could. There is. It's a really. It's a hard thing to stop someone's travel, their freedom to travel in this country, especially when they haven't arrested someone yet or are about to arrest someone, right? Your freedom to travel as you choose in this country is immense. It's a big thing. And that's why when someone is about ready to get in a plane or travel, they'll do an arrest if they're going to do it, right? They don't just, meet them at the gate and say, you can't go. They arrest them normally because that's what they have to do. Correct. She tried to rent a second car the other day. But they did say that it was something to do with her financial issues pertaining to perhaps bankruptcies or something like that. I just feel like if she won't talk, start arresting, and then they will talk. I mean, what do you have to lose? You know what I mean? At this point, she's well without the time frame.
Like, why would that be a hard thing to produce your child?
Were you surprised at all that, I mean, for me, I just don't understand why they haven't broken down the door.
I mean, I don't know if she was trying to flee. In my opinion, I think it was very sus that the day before she was supposed to say the whereabouts of Melodee, she was trying to get a rental car.
I always feel as though if there's a child missing, worried relatives, and an intransigent mother who has been caught in the past in a circumstance where her home was so derelict and the food was rotting, and the grandmother thought the rotting food was being served to the child.
Yeah. We got to remember that the mom has allegedly lost a son in the system of CPS or DHS, whatever it is out there, because the house was filthy, in shambles, and the child was allegedly, there was rotten food in the fridge.
There's a background, there's a history. Why aren't they breaking down the door, considering this to be an exigent circumstance? Are you feeling the same way?
What I'll tell you is, I mean, obviously the human in you agrees 100%. You have to also just look at, I think, what is the legality of all? I don't know that answer. In my case, we already were told that they were missing, and then it's just this wide search of so many people getting involved, and that's when you're holding out hope, and you're always, as a family member, going to hold out hope that it's not the worst case scenario. But you know, we have our own version of justice versus what justice looks like in the actual justice system, and it's I think it can be different for us as the public versus what they have to do to get to those answers.
Also wanted to ask you about this whole difference between the 72-hour ultimatum that was handed to Melodee's mother, Ashley Buzzard. 72 hours, produce the children or else. And the or else, I just don't know what that or else is. Originally, we thought she'd be hauled off to the county jail. The ultimatum for your mom was 72 hours or we'll put you in cuffs. And ultimately, they chased her to Hawaii and they put her in cuffs. Do you have any thoughts on this?
You got to remember, this is California, and that makes a difference.
Very unusual CPS process.
I don't know how the CPS worked exactly. I mean, I know in our case that they did go get Lori, and she needed that because she did have an ultimatum. She had a deadline. She needed to meet it, and she didn't. And the only reason she didn't is because she literally couldn't. Now, in this case, you want to hope and pray that that's not the same thing. You hope and pray that this is not the same scenario and that there is something else going on. And, you know, to all of her family members, I would be the same way. You hold out hope to the very end and you keep praying that it's not the worst case. So I don't know too much about the CPS system, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just sort of flummoxed and bewildered by it because I thought you give someone an ultimatum and there's a consequence, but I just don't see that.
Well, I mean, they gave her, what's the consequence? Exactly. They gave her 72 hours. Now, what's the consequence? They haven't arrested her. I always envision Lori Daybell lounging in her bikini, reading visions of by the pool, being served while the world worried for her children. That was pretty much it. She's still delusional.
Playing out, certainly not publicly. If it is playing out, they're holding their cards very close to their chest, which makes me fear there's more to.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Bobby says, I don't think she's able to produce Melodee. That's what it seems like. You would just say, hey, she's here at a friend's house or whatever, and it would be over. Right? The welfare and safety of the child. That's the law broken.
This investigation than just a missing child, and God forbid it is a murder investigation. We don't know that to be true. Your thoughts on on the process your mom was going through when she was saying to you, don't worry about it. The kids are safe and happy, when in fact the children had already died. Was she lying?
Yeah, Lori Vallow was saying the kids are safe, they're happy now, all of this. They were buried in the back of a married man with multiple children's yard. Think about that. Where's Melodee? Hopefully not in a similar predicament.
Lying to you, or was she lying to herself and believing her lies herself?
Wow, that's a great question. I think honestly, she was lying to herself. I don't think she fully believes in her own story, but I think that is her protecting herself from the reality of what she's done. And
I see in here, she does have some people in Nebraska, but I don't believe that they're with anyone in Nebraska. Not with family. I see you. Who was it? Who's the people in Nebraska? I can't remember. We looked at it, but do you remember who the ties she has in Nebraska? I can't remember.
I don't think she's changed in a very long time. So, when it comes to her specifically, she's a very, very different person. And I'm sure anybody who's watched her or listened to her speak, you can tell she's a very, very...
Mom's family. Yeah, that's... I want to say it's like a brother. In-laws. Okay. Now, because Ashley Buzzard's mom said she didn't have any ties in Nebraska, but she does. She does have ties in Nebraska. Maybe Ashley's mom doesn't know that, because Ashley and her mom, the grandmother, they kind of had an estranged relationship themselves.
Difficult person, and she's dealing with the consequences, but she thinks she's being wronged, right? She thinks that she did nothing wrong, and in her mind she loves her kids, and so she has this very special case, in my opinion. But it's unfortunate because I've seen some other cases like this where the parent can't produce their child, and there's always something going on mentally with the parent that I've noticed. So it's scary.
I mean, there has to be something mentally going on. And again, Ashley Buzzard, the mother of Melodee Buzzard, Ashley Buzzard's mother, has said that her mental health has deteriorated in the last few years. So it obviously something was going on with Lori as well. Something still is going on.
You don't want anything to happen to children like this.
Well, and we've heard from the extended family that Ashley Buzzard, Melodee's mother, has had some severe mental challenges in the past, whether that's still ongoing. It does sound like it from the descriptions, but we aren't being told any diagnosis. What advice do you have for the extended family members of Melodee Buzzard who are desperate to see that little girl?
You hold out hope no matter what. And as bad as you think it could be, as scary as it is, as many questions, as much as you go back and forth in a 24-hour period, you hold out hope and you pray and you don't give it up. And until you know what has happened, you hold out hope. That is my advice, because you don't want to make the scenario in your head. But I don't know if people realize what a prison it is to be scared for someone you love, who, especially a child who can't take care of themselves. But honestly, you just hope and you pray. That's my advice.
Well, conversely, what's your advice for the police in Lompoc, California, who are presumably spearheading this search?
Rachel, Melodee's father is dead. He died a few years ago in a bike accident. No family around that Ashley, the mother, has really anything to do with.
I mean, I'm sure they understand that this is a 9-year-old girl, and you have to take it seriously. But I don't know what their process is, and I don't know what it takes to get all that legal stuff done. I'm not educated in that, but you have to hope that they continue investigating and hopefully find her as soon as possible.
Colby, how are you processing everything that happened with your mom?
Yeah, it took a long time, years of trials, years of pain. And, now I'm in a place where after it's all kind of settled down, I've been able to refocus on my family, focus on my personal healing and growth, and, trying to make the best of what life is. You still have a life to live after tragedy, and, try to help inspire as many people as I can, and hopefully be able to give some positive message in all of this darkness, because most people see the darkness, they see the headline, they see what this is, but there can be, a life after all of it. So for me, it's just been focusing on my family, healing, and trying to help others when I can.
Listen, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you joining me on this topic. I sure hope we.
So there's that. Now, new article that is out. Actually, did they release the? There is a new one second. There is a let me show you this real quick first. Go over to TikTok really quickly.
Today on October 27th, this lame TikTok creator who is just a person who comes and sits outside Ashley Buzzard's house in her trunk decided this poor man acting like he was some friend of hers or some weird person picking up a bag from her. He was a Walmart return pickup person who she posted.
Okay, not that one. Sorry. That wasn't it. It was a different one. Let me find it here. Okay. There is Newsweek is wearing sorry, I was reading something. Put out a new article. And the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office provided an updated timeline and new information on the disappearance of the 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard on Friday as the search continues. Officials began investigating after a school administrator reported Buzzard's extended absence. The sheriff's office said it focused on a 3-day period and the conclusion of which Melodee's mother, 35-year-old Ashley Buzzard, returned home without Melodee. The sheriff's office said Ashley has been, quote, uncooperative and has not provided any information about her daughter's location or well-being. Melodee is described as 4'6", weighing 60 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. See, here she's got brown hair. It's really curly, but in the newer picture with at the car rental place, it's black and it's almost being hidden in a hoodie style, right? And yes, Melodee's father, Rubiel Meza, died when little Melodee was a baby. October 7th is the last sighting So we are over 2 weeks now. Officials released surveillance images from a local car rental business taken that day. Melodee is wearing a hooded sweatshirt with the hood pulled up. The sheriff's office said she is wearing what appears to be a darker, straighter wig than her natural hair. Quote, investigators believe the wig may have been used to alter her appearance. Now, whenever someone is going through um, something really, mental, delusions, they think someone is after them or chasing them or whatever, that kind of makes me think, did Ashley feel like she having like this mental health issue where she felt like she had to hide Melodee? Someone was chasing her, right? Um, Rachel, what's mom's source of income? I don't know. I really don't know. She doesn't seem to work from what I understand. I think the mom is paranoid. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, forget me not. Jennifer, good to see you. It feels that way. What could someone who is, having mental paranoia do? Right? Dress your kid up incognito to make them appear to be someone else. But also you could, it's kind of a double sword. You could also do that to for nefarious reasons as well. I don't know when the one we always see, I know it was at least a couple years ago. Hey, Robin. It could also be she doesn't trust the CPS system, etc. system anymore because other children were removed. It could be, but again, the question is why? I mean, I understand why she doesn't trust, but there was nothing going on to where someone was calling in anything. She had not been, picking up her assignments and doing that kind of thing. And again, it sounds like if mom may have not been picking up her assignments, she may have been suffering with some mental health issues, right? Things tend to not get done that might normally be done. The paternal grandma made it sound like she's been having her come and go in disguise. Hmm. Mhm. Right. Yes, Rachel. Exactly. She wasn't, I mean, this is the thing. It was a 3-day trip, right? And it's nearly 24 hours there, nearly 24 hours back. So she couldn't have stayed somewhere more than a day, and that's really pushing it, right? Yeah. Even if you're, depressed, things fall by the wayside. You stop doing task that you would normally do, your everyday life, right? Lord bless these babies. What was the mom who did trip to Stepson? Letitia Stout. Hmm. But this is her biological child. Biological. So there's that. So there was this 3-day road trip. On October 10th, Ashley Buzzard returns home without her daughter. Now, I am sure law enforcement FBI is following that white car everywhere they can find it, like on surveillance, checking out what route she took. There's a few different routes. They're anywhere from 23, 22, 23, 24 hours, any of the routes that you take. She probably does receive some sort of Social Security because Melodee's father is dead, right? And generally, a child will receive Social Security if, one of the parents dies. Yancy says, well, I do blame her mother. She said she was acting funny 2 years ago. Okay, why did she call somebody that I know that your daughter? Then I know that your daughter, but why didn't you call somebody then? No, I agree. I agree. I mean, if this has been going on for quite some time, it's a problem. What's interesting to me is why haven't they found this white Impala? The Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office said Ashley returned home from her trip on October 10th in the same rental car vehicle she left in. Melodee was not in that car. Officials said the return trip included the state of Kansas. Oh. That's interesting. I did not know that part. So it also included Kansas. I was thinking Kansas, but so Nebraska and Kansas. So we now know that Kansas as well. Interesting. Quote, detectives are now focused on determining where Melodee was during those 3 days and where she may be now, end quote, the sheriff's office said. October 14th, school reports Melodee Buzzard's absence. A school administrator reported Melodee extended absence as officials on October 14th. Is what a little over 2 weeks ago. Now October 15th is when the sheriff's office on October 14th said Ashley had, quote, no verifiable explanation, quote, end quote, for Melodee's whereabouts. October 15th, search executed at the home. Detectives served a search warrant at Melodee's residence on October 15th. Melodee was not located in the home. They jumped on it really quick, right? They jumped on it really quick, but she also was able to be in that house apparently overnight. Search at home. Why the F, not SW sooner? Is that what you mean? Why go if they didn't get an answer? That's what I'm saying. Exactly, Sandwich. If they didn't get an answer right there, they should have pulled her out of her house and said, we're going to do a search warrant right now. Get out of the house. This is what happens. Excuse me. On October 18th, 3 days later, the FBI joins the investigation. So you think about it, October 14th, when mom had no really good enough, satisfiable explanation about where her 9-year-old child is, they felt something was off, which, again, it only sets alarms if you have a mother and she says, "Oh, I don't know where my child is." And they didn't call it in before. You know, you have to show up on their door to get, for them to just say that the child is missing, the mother. And so 4 days later, after from going to that house and her not saying anything where Melodee is, 4 days after that, FBI is on it. And, the day after the initial welfare check, they were already searching in that house. And then after they did the check in the house, 3 days after that, the FBI is there. So that's telling me some very interesting information, in my opinion, that they know something is really bad here. Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown, in a statement, said, quote, "Our detectives are following every lead in this case. We continue to seek information for the public to help if they could find, public that could help us find Melodee. We remain determined to bring her home safely," end quote. Bridget Truitt, Melodee Buzzard's auntie, in a comment to KEYT, quote, "We never stop thinking about her or loving her or praying for her," end quote. So what happens next? The search for Melodee is continuing. The sheriff's office said detectives will provide updates, quote, "as new information becomes available and that does not compromise the integrity of the investigation," end quote. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office via the detectives on the line at 805-681-4150, or you can produce an anonymous tip at 805-681-4171. Tips can also be submitted anonymously online as well. Members of the public are asked not to conduct independent searches or investigations, as doing so could interfere with law enforcement efforts. Okay. So there is that. They didn't look like they meant business. I don't know. That's interesting. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, but the thing is, Carol, you can't make someone talk, and it can't be held against them, you know? All right, so take a look at this. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, would be so thankful. Mods, how many thumbs ups do we got?
For answers. Our whole family's praying for her safety, and just if anybody knows anything, please call the tip lines.
Okay, this is Melodee's aunt, and she's going to speak on this photo of Melodee.
And, just let us know. It's never too late to call.
Missing case picking up more and more national traction. Police say Melodee's school last saw her in August. Then on October 7th, Melodee and her mom, police say, left on a road trip out to the Midwest. They visited Nebraska and they made a stop in Kansas. Her mom then got back on the 10th. A week later, when no one came to pick up homework for Melodee, the school district did a welfare check, discovering that Melodee was nowhere to be found. Now the FBI is involved in this investigation. Melodee remains an at-risk missing person. Joining us now, News Nation national security contributor Tracy Walder. She's a former CIA officer and FBI special agent. Tracy, I've been following this case for the last several weeks. At one point, police believed that Melodee could have been missing for up to a year or more. The last photo they have of her with the curly hair was from 2 years ago, so she could look much different.
Yeah. Listen to this, what she's going to say right here. In the beginning, we thought Melodee could have been missing a year. And then it was a few months. And now we know she was last seen October 7th.
I also saw some local reporting of police going to the mom's house as they were looking for information. The question I keep getting is, why hasn't the mom been arrested or taken into custody if she is not cooperating? How would you answer that question?
No.
Well, thank you for having me, Marty. You're absolutely right. They did give her 72 hours to produce Melodee or face arrest. And so my guess is there could be a few reasons. I think the first maybe is they want to see if she leads them to Melodee. I think, she is making some moves. I know she was trying to kind of feverishly rent a rental vehicle. And so part of me wonders if that's what they're doing. She is essentially worth more to them free because she could lead them to Melodee rather than incarcerated, because she obviously, as you mentioned before, has been so combative and not willing to help.
So we're starting to get more evidence, more of a clear picture of the timeline when she was last seen. How is this helping investigators right now, especially this latest possible image of her?
I think that timeline is extremely crucial because
No sandwich. She was seen before that.
as you mentioned before, they had thought she hadn't been seen for a year. And so that is going to take an inordinate amount of time to essentially trace her last steps from a year. But thank goodness that the school actually stepped in and was able to give them.
I agree, Mitch. It seems like it's not good, though.
A much tighter time.
She has certainly struggled in the past.
Time frame. And from there, they were able to obtain those pictures. So that's incredibly useful. It will be very useful to local police as well as to the FBI in hopefully finding her in a much quicker.
Yes, this picture that you see with her hair out right here, the one we're used to seeing, that photo is 2 years old. So that's kind of what we had in our mind, what Melodee might look like. We didn't realize it was 2 years old, at least 2 years old. And this is the last picture of Melodee in that car rental place on October 7th.
Manner than they would have with that 1 year time frame.
It's so delicate dealing with the mom in this case. If she knows where Melodee is right now, how do police handle her?
It's interesting because I also would be curious to know if the grandmother has said anything. So Ashley Buzzard's mom, she lives in and around the area as well and is in contact with her. So my guess is I believe they are probably leveraging her as well to deal with Ashley and to give a sense of how she will respond to this. But you're right, it's incredibly difficult, especially when you have a mother who is absolutely not willing to participate in finding her own daughter.
It doesn't make sense.
Now, Melodee's sister, her half sister, came by, and Melodee, or not Melodee's, Ashley's half sister came by, and Ashley was upset with her half sister and said, I can't believe you're doing this and all that, and shut the door on her face.
I know a lot of people are watching this case. If you've seen Melodee, please call 911 immediately, or the mom, or have any information that can help bring her home safely.
Okay, let me show you this. There are a couple other snapshots. I wish they would release the video. Here's another one. And you see right here, look at her eyes. Make it bigger. It's like almost she's looking at the camera, or she's looking at someone. Here. Very interesting. Also, her hair is not black. Her hair is brown. Her hair is brown. It's also kind of out of the hoodie here. Oops, wrong one. right? Sorry. And if you look, this is the one I wanted to show you. 1 second. If you look at this, it goes outside. Her hair is outside of the hoodie. See her eyes turn sideways as well. Inside, as she's walking inside, she's had to put her hair up in the hoodie, right? Because she's getting ready to walk through the door right here. And it looks like she's fixing her hair. And as she walks in, the hair is all in the hoodie. AMG, they, from what authorities have said, that, you know, this person, which the authorities say is Melodee right here, was with Ashley in the rental car place. So there's that. This is what I wanted to show you guys of the auntie saying that this, in her opinion, does look like Melodee. I think it looks like Melodee in my opinion, but there are a lot of you guys that don't think this looks like Melodee, and that's fine.
Little Melodee. So police opened a missing child investigation, but they're not getting any help
With
from
Ashley
Ashley.
Banfield.
And now they're releasing a new photo of little Melodee from a California car
Longtime fan.
rental office on the day the road trip began, again, October 7th. Police think that little Melodee might be wearing a wig in this photo, possibly to conceal her identity. Investigators say Ashley is, and I quote, known to wear wigs. They also say Ashley has not been cooperative in this search, nor provided any real explanation as to where her daughter might be since returning home without her. Relatives say the same thing. Melanie's dad is deceased, and his family says they haven't seen Melodee in years. Elizabeth Meza is Melodee's aunt on her father's side, and she joins me now. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being on with me. Let's just start with the breaking news, that picture that the police have released of what they say is Melodee at a car rental agency. Does that picture look to you like your niece?
I mean, we haven't seen her in 4.5 years, so what we know her as, I mean, she was just a little 4-year-old girl when we known her. But that nose definitely, reminds me of her dad's. So yeah, it does look like her.
And you also got to remember,
husband's brother was.
You also got to remember, girls mature a lot faster than boys, especially nowadays. So I think that might be some of it as well.
Was Melodee's dad, and he died in a motorcycle accident when she was just a baby. So was that when Ashley cut off the rest of the family and wouldn't allow anyone to see her?
That was when it started. Her mental health declined even more, and she just slowly cut everybody off even more. We did have a little bit of contact. I know my husband got in contact with her at one time and said, if you don't let the family see her, at least let my mom see her. And we saw her one time, I believe it was after her birthday, after Easter. My mother-in-law had presents for her, and she did come over with her. But you can definitely tell at that time Ashley was unwell. She had her hair very short, like a buzz cut, and she was at that time wearing a hood.
Hold on.
I believe it was after her birthday, after Easter. My mother-in-law had presents for her, and she did come over with her. But you can definitely tell at that time Ashley was unwell. She had her hair very short, like a buzz cut.
Ashley. Okay. I thought she said they had Melodee with a buzz cut. Still, that's interesting. The last time they saw Ashley with Melodee was years ago. And Ashley, the mother, says the family member says that she had a buzz cut. Yeah, like a Britney Spears moment sandwich. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was it Easter? I thought they said. Let me go back.
Mom see her, and we saw her one time. I believe it was after her birthday, after Easter. My mother-in-law had presents for her, and she did come over with her at one time and said, cut everybody off even more. We did have a little bit of contact. I know my husband got in contact with her at one time and said, if you don't let the family see her, at least let my mom see her. And we saw her one time. I believe it was after her birthday, after Easter. My mother-in-law had presents for her, and she did.
So I'm guessing this Easter, this past Easter, March, April.
Come over with her, but you can definitely tell at that time Ashley was unwell. She had her hair very short, like a buzz cut, and she was at that time wearing a hood. And she didn't stay for very long. She told my mother-in-law, I can't do this. And she took Melodee, and that was the last time we seen her.
Well, this is what's so frustrating is that, you know, with reports
Very
like
strange,
this
maybe.
and the fact that no one's been able to see this girl, where has CPS been in all of this? Like, I want to say it's a massive failure. If it's been months since she picked up her assignments from school, if the family has said there was rotting food in the fridge that she might have been trying to feed this girl, if she refuses to answer the police, if she refuses to talk to family, what are the CPS officials saying to you about this?
They really didn't have much to say. They contacted me and they asked if I knew her whereabouts. And I said, what do you mean? We were told that she was adopted out. Is she okay? And
What do you mean, Nancy? Did they see the mother in these pictures too? That they claimed that it was like in this picture right here? Yes, this is when Ashley was renting the car the same day that they left. And this photo right here, within 72 hours of this photo, Melodee has not been seen of, heard of since. It could have been 10 hours after this photo. Could have been 24, 48, but it was within 72 hours. Ashley had already left Santa Barbara County and went to Nebraska, Kansas, and came back and was home within that 72-hour period. And Melodee was not with her on that trip back.
And they said, we can't tell you that. It's an active investigation. We're just calling to see if they've gotten in contact with you. And I said, no, I have not seen or heard from them. And I said, again, is my niece okay? And is she missing? And they said, we can't give you that information, but if they get in contact with you, please let us know. And no longer than maybe 15 minutes after I hung up with them, I opened Facebook and there was a missing person post.
Oh, man. So listen, my first question to you in this interview was, does that look...
Well, I mean, we've got updated pictures of Ashley.
Like little Melodee. Did anyone from the police call you to ask that same question? Have they kept you in the loop at all, or even asked you to be a part of this investigation?
There is a detective with the sheriff's department that called, and because I had left a message and my mother-in-law had left a message, and he called and he said there was a lot of leads, and sorry for not getting back to us right away, but they were working over the weekend, working on leads, and that was on Wednesday, and he just apologized, but he did.
Yeah, Alafide says kind of something like I was saying. She's probably paranoid and thinks his family or CPS is out to take the girl, like delusions. Maybe she dropped her off to a friend for hiding, hoping not an internet friend. Perhaps, I'm not sure. About the second part. I hope she's with someone safe. I really do. But it also makes me think of, filicide. It does. Not saying that happened because we have no idea. But if she was having these delusions, mental health issues, thinking someone was after her or someone or that she was doing good or that evil was after her, when they're under these delusions, they can sometimes feel like they're better off not here, if you know what I mean. Or if CPS or other family member, she feels like that, like you were saying, they can feel like, well, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. So I'm hoping, I'm praying it's just not those. But you would think that, especially in Nebraska and Kansas right now, people are talking about this ever. This is a national story. That if someone did have her, they would say, listen, mom might not be talking, but I'm here to talk because she said, this is just an example. Like, I need you to watch Melodee for a week or whatever, going through some stuff. Just watch her, make her safe. They would talk, but they may be, if someone does have her, they may be very loyal to Ashley. So there's that.
Say they were working on it, and then that's when the FBI came in, and they hadn't had this picture yet. And I asked him if we could review the video, and he said unfortunately they couldn't show that to us at the time, but then they released it today.
So there has been talk about Melodee being adopted in the past, and she was allegedly supposed to have been adopted. I just don't think this woman needs kids, to be quite honest with you. I just don't think she needs kids. My opinion. Some people just aren't made for them. Sometimes it's just of no fault of their own. They can physically produce babies, but they can't mentally take care of them. So the auntie agrees and says, based upon what she knows, that and has seen, that she feels like this is Melodee. But again, I know a lot of you in chat, I know a lot of on social media, people do not feel like that is Melodee. A lot of people think that this girl looks older. I personally don't think she looks older. But I don't know. It's possible she took her to an arrangement of marriage for money, fearing the child would always be alone. I don't know. My gut is telling me that she's fine and just with someone. I hope you're right, Robin. I hope you're right. I really do. Melodee was in the care of parental family. DPS took her back and said she was getting adopted out. And it's just something not clear about that, isn't it, Lady Gracious? Like, if that was the case, then why didn't they do it? Like, what happened in between that? You know what I mean? To be fair, we don't know what she looked like. We've only seen one photo from when she was little. And yes. Yeah. And Mitch, that's I agree with that wholeheartedly. And that's why, in my opinion, I believe police has, really checked on this. Maybe they did, face measurements or whatever. Retina, I don't know.
Take a look. This is an image that authorities released of Melodee Buzzard before. But tonight, there are...
Here she looks just like a little model. Right? Looks like something like in a Carter magazine. Clothing magazine. Cutest little thing you ever seen.
new images of the same girl appearing to wear a wig. The latest clue in this case, raising chilling questions about what may have happened to Melodee, who vanished during a road trip with her child. News Nation's Jorge Ventura is live from Los Angeles tonight with the exclusive new details. Jorge, what are we learning about this?
Hey, Natasha. Well, this story really is sending shockwaves through the communities here in Southern California. We are now learning of these newly released images from Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office, giving investigators this new look into Melodee Buzzard, even right before she disappeared. And the images were taken from a security camera at a rental car business. And what's striking is that in that image, the child looks very similar to Melodee. But as you can see there, the child has straight black hair under a gray hoodie. Hair investigators now believe it is a wig. Now, officials say that Melodee was with her mother, Ashley, when she...
Guys, have y'all heard about this case? Have y'all heard about this case that's going on right now? 4 North Carolina children found dead in trunk of car identified. Father tells 911 he unalived them. This guy right here.
We're following heartbreaking breaking news out of to killing 4 of his children, the youngest just 6 years old. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lena Tillett.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. Wellington Dickens faces 4 murder charges now. He's in jail now without bond. Deputies telling us that they found his kids in a car trunk and that they've been dead since May.
WRAL's Eric Miller is joining us live now in the Zeb.
Holy hell, I did not know that part. I started watching this story last night. Since May. Oh my God, I did not know that part.
Neighborhood where officers say this happened. Eric, this is a tragic day for this family, of course, and also for people who live in this community.
Well, Lena, and it gives you a sense of just how seriously Johnston County Sheriff's deputies, the SBI, and other agencies involved here are taking this situation, that they are still here, still investigating more than 19 hours later. Just take a look here behind me. You can see this scene still very active at this point, though we have seen just the last couple of minutes, those agents, those deputies, those investigators beginning to pack up and load some equipment into their vehicles.
Listen, how did the neighbors not smell that over the summer in North Carolina? 4 bodies in a trunk? Thank you, Deanna. Thank you.
We've also seen just in the last hour a car towed away as well. Just take a look at this video. We're working to confirm exactly how that car is tied to this crime, whether this was where those children's bodies were found. We're taking a close look as it drove past. You can see this was a silver two-door Honda sedan. There was a small pinhole near the back passenger tire, and notably, there was significant scuffing near the trunk. Of course, all of this goes back to that 911 call that police say Wellington Dickens made. Deputies found 4 children here dead, ages 6, 9, and 10 years old, as well as an 18-year-old as well. Documents have revealed in the past, Dickens has had run-ins with DSS workers.
There we go. DSS workers. 6, 9, 12, and 18. Oh my God. How? He's had DHS.
And had faced allegations of child abuse. The sheriff's office says their investigation here is ongoing. We're going to stay on top of this, bring you any updates as soon as we get them.
That is crazy. Leah Dickens, age 6. Zoe Dickens, age 9. Wellington Dickens, age 10. Sean Brassfield, his stepchild, age 18. Look at this monster. You are one monster. Unbelievable. Hey, and the Wake County Public School System said the 4 children are not enrolled in the district. This is becoming a pattern. Becoming a pattern that we're starting to notice. The homeschool, the not being enrolled. Deputies confirmed that the 3-year-old is alive. When they checked the car in the garage, they found human remains in the trunk. Okay, so the car was in the garage, but still, you had to smell something. The Johnston County Sheriff's Office obtained a search warrant for the house and established that Dickens had unalived his 3 biological children and an 18-year-old stepchild. The North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation responded to the scene, which is near Johnson County and Wake County line. The sheriff's office said this is an ongoing investigation. Authorities removed a 2-door Honda sedan from Wellington Dickens III home on Tuesday. Dickens appeared in court on Tuesday afternoon. He will be assigned a public defender. A judge told Dickens in court on Tuesday that the first-degree unaliving carries a maximum sentence of life without parole or the death penalty if convicted. You deserve death conviction, in my opinion. Authorities are holding Dickens at the Johnston County Jail without bond. On Tuesday, Johnston County District Attorney Jason Waller declined to comment on the case. Dickens is due back in court tomorrow, Wednesday. There he is, evil SOB. Neighbors relive, share their emotions. WRAL News spoke on Chris Yingling, who lives right near Dickens' home. Quote, I woke up this morning and looked out, waiting for a package, and saw all these cops and was like, quote, hey, Mom, something is happening, end quote, he said. WRAL News asked Yingling how's he's holding up. Quote, it's definitely a horrible thing to happen, end quote. Yingling said, quote, I wouldn't wish anything like this on anybody, end quote. WARL also spoke to Charles Moore, who is Dickens' great uncle. Moore said he last saw Dickens about a year ago and, quote, he seemed fine, end quote. Dickens is an Iraq War veteran according to Moore. It kind of looks like a housing thing for military. WRAL News is working to find out what branch of the military Dickens was in and his rank. Quote, we know he had a little problem, end quote, Moore said of Dickens. WRAL News asked Moore specifically what kind of problems. Quote, he was in service and he had problems ever since he came back, I think, end quote, Moore said. Moore shared how he felt learning of the news on Tuesday. Quote, like everybody else, I was just shocked, end quote, Moore said. Quote, you hear it, talk about it happening to other people. You just wouldn't think it would happen to one of your own, end quote. That is insanity. Travis Decker, yeah, but he killed 3 of his own and a stepchild, but the 3-year-old is still alive. You're my twin, LL. That's funny. That's the only thing I said. Military off base. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, in my opinion as well. I think they need to put some more strict rules on the homeschooling. I don't know. It's the way it seems, Peacemaker. It really is. It really is. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to follow that story as well. See what happens with it. Really do appreciate you all, guys. If you haven't yet subscribed, we'd really appreciate to earn your subscription and hit that thumbs up button. So really, really, really appreciate you, Pearls. Much love to you. I don't know where Mom is. That's very interesting as well. I will be back here in just a little bit. Again, this evening, we will be talking about Jack and Lily Sullivan and all the debacle that is going on there. Mom passed last year. They need to be checking that out then. Perhaps. How did the mom die? Me, Maurice. Yeah, Bobby. Is Kelly. Linda. They can ask random questions of any. Thank you, Miss Karen. Yeah, I want to know how that mom passed. I mean, she had 4 children together under 10 years old. 4 children under 10. Gotcha, Sheila. Good to see you, honey. So was the 3-year-old at somebody's house? No, the 3-year-old was in the house with him. 3-year-old was in the house. He kept the 3-year-old for whatever reason. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, I'm glad he did, but none of them should have. In the trunk since May. 4 bodies. What was it? 4, 6, 10, and 18? That is crazy. Crazy. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will see you guys in just a little bit. God bless you. Hopefully I'll see you guys in a little bit. I will be here. It's nearly 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'll be back within the hour. Love you guys. Bye-bye.